Welcome back to Curated by Chelsea, or welcome if you are new here. I am Chelsea, and wow, we have been vlogging a lot lately. There's still so much more to come because vlogs take a lot longer to edit, but I need to put out a video like this. I need to talk to the camera, which is you guys, and I want to talk about the joys of being multi-passionate because I talked about the challenges, and I do feel like that kind of has a negative connotation to it. But I think it's time to talk about more of the positives because those are there too. And I think that's important. I don't know how many more of these multi-passionate videos that I can talk about, but I do just want to constantly or consistently rather keep updating as, I go. This is still a new thing for me. Let me jump into this video. So the joys of being a multi-passionate. So one of the main reasons why I decided to really embrace being multi-passionate and just really lean into it is the fact that I have creative freedom. Doing more than one thing as far as my creative endeavors like painting, sewing, crocheting is freeing. It's oddly freeing. It's just like one of those things. I love knowing just how to do stuff and being creative like that. So as you can see, painting has been something that I've been doing recently. And I'm not gonna lie, jumping back in was a lot harder than I thought because it has been a couple years, but it just feels so good when I do actually sit down and just paint. There's just a lot of creative freedom, like being able to do those things. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, let me whip up a crochet project. I want to make some pants for my birthday, and I instinctively know how to start already. I love being able to just kind of jump into my different passions. And there's just so much freedom there, so much freedom. I could talk about the type of freedom that you experience all day long. Maybe I will make that a separate video, but I don't want this to be too long. Another joy that I run into is that because I have embraced it, or because maybe you're embracing it, is that you are going to be learning for life. So something that I swear, as soon as I start filming, people start texting. That's going on Do Not Disturb. So when you do decide to take on being multi-passionate or embrace it, you know that you're going to always be learning. You might pick up a new book on how to sew, on how to design clothes, pattern make, or how to crochet, how to, cash stuff. Because I know for some people, cash stuffing is something that they're very passionate about. I want to actually get into cash stuffing because it looks so cool to me, and you do actually save money. But there's always just going to be this level of learning all the time, and I thoroughly enjoy that. With content creation, I feel like there's always going to be some learning going on. With content creation, it's video editing, photo editing, filming, learning cinematic angles, and the list goes on. Graphic design, logo design, and if you decide you want to start a magazine, you have to learn how to design that. And I just feel like with content creation, the jobs and career field is so vast and you have so much to pick from. And that's why I like content creation, because I can go so many different ways. It's not just, oh yeah, content creation, let's just start making a YouTube channel. No, I can do my blog again. I can start a magazine, like I said, start a whole new Instagram page that's faceless. I can start a quote page on Instagram. I can start Lemonade. There's so much you can do when it comes to content creation, and it's not just being an influencer. Content creation is where it's at. I think content is king, and I do feel like it is very creative, and I'm getting a little off topic with this, but you're always going to constantly be learning in content creation, and that honestly can go for any field: sewing or fashion, crochet, painting. I recently just learned that there's different types of acrylic. There's the heavy, what is it called? The heavy body acrylic and soft body acrylic. I feel like that's something I should have known, but I just didn't know that. I could go on about this topic too, but let's move on. Oh my God, so much to talk about here. This is something I truly do love about being multi-passionate, is that there is so much crossover of ideas. I hope that made sense. There's a crossover appeal of ideas. I actually peeped this when I was in college because a lot of like the graphic design girls and the interior design girls were actually very fashionable for their major. A lot of people would assume that those were the fashion girls, but really the fashion girls were either in all black or just, you know, dressing somewhat avant-garde or at least couture. The interior design and graphic design girls would always just be like kind of have that classic style, very not structured, but definitely very classic and very sometimes quirky. A lot of graphic designers would be very quirky dressed, and you could tell that they were definitely in the design field. Most people at my art school were pretty fashionable. So I don't know, I always found that cool. And honestly, being into something like art, like fine art, you naturally kind of gravitate towards fashion, not just because you're a girl, but just because there's so much fashion inspiration in the art, especially if you do tend to draw people, you're gonna probably naturally be somewhat fashionable. Very rarely do you see an artist who's just, dang, they can't dress for nothing. But that was so cool to see when I was in college. My best friend, she is an interior designer and she can dress her booty off. And sometimes I'd be like, dang, you eating me up, because I'm the fashion girly out of our friend group. But I think she's coming from a different place of how she styles her clothes versus how I'm thinking of not necessarily trends, but I'm thinking of ethics and sustainability and my body type. She's thinking of it as like, what colors look good together? How can I take this outfit over the edge? Like, she's thinking at it like that. So I just love the whole crossover of ideas, and those were just some examples. So like, I even see it in gardening and cooking, because with gardening, you're not really thinking about the cooking aspect when you're gardening, because you're thinking like, oh yeah, I have fresh veggies, I have fresh fruit. But then when it comes down to the cooking, I can take these cucumbers and pickle them. One of the things that I missed out on with the pickling was that earlier I was growing dill, but I didn't know what to do with the dill. But if I would have just like grown it later, I could have used my own dill instead of having to go out and buy it. So those are just things that I have to think of going forward. The crossover of ideas is just, love that. I think I'm on number 4. Another joy that I get from being multi-passionate is just the amount of growth I experience. Honestly, just deciding that I was going to embrace being a Renaissance woman catapulted me so much. Like the growth, personal growth, not even like YouTube growth, just personal growth. I feel like I don't have to pigeonhole myself constantly. I can do different things every day and not feel like I'm missing out on something. Like if I decide I'm just gonna sit down and crochet all day, I don't feel bad about that. If I decide I'm going to paint all day, I don't feel bad. I do still have to get used to, if I decide I'm going to play my game for more than a few hours, I do feel bad because gaming is not something that I see as a career, at least not yet. Even though I do watch gameplays, mostly that is what I watch. For me, it doesn't feel productive when I'm playing the game. I may have to get out of that mindset, but some days, usually Friday or the weekends, and if I'm playing my games, I don't really care, but during the week, I'm like, okay, we're gonna play for a little bit, or we're gonna play after we finish all of our work. That's more of a reward. But honestly, I do feel a lot more well-rounded. I just feel just like this evolution going on right now inside my body, and I really love it. There's just something about doing all of the things you love versus one that just make you feel a certain way. I don't know how to explain that feeling, but it just feels great to be experiencing so much personal growth and being actually happy. Once I decided like, we're gonna kind of do it all, that's when I feel like I opened up a can of worms, but in a good way. It ended up working out even with my content, because now the way that I am like putting out my content, it's in a way where it's like, you don't really have a niche, but you do because you're a multi-passionate, and you don't really actually need a niche. You just really need to be consistent and talk about the same things with an S over and over again. And that is something that I've been doing, and I have been a lot more consistent in the past couple of weeks now. And I don't know, I'm really that growth is amazing to me because it's both personal growth and professional growth. And I love that. And that is another reason why I chose content creation. I guess I'm gonna have to make a video on why I chose to be a content creator. Okay, so for number 5, being multi-passionate means never being bored. I have so much to choose from all the time, and I really do enjoy that. I always have something to do, and I do feel like early on my mom taught me this. My mom told me, gosh, when I was maybe like 15 or 16, that she's never bored because she always has something to do. And I was like, well, I never want to be bored either. And it was weird because I was watching this video and they were like, oh, it's good to be bored sometimes. But like, I don't think bored was the right word. I think it's good to have idle time. I am never bored. If I'm not editing or filming or just working on my business, I am crocheting, painting, or drawing, journaling, gaming. I have so many options to choose from all the time. So I'm literally always doing something, but not in a way where my mind is racing or anything. Like, I definitely can tell myself when it's time to like settle down if I feel like I'm doing too much. So that's probably one of the coolest things of being multi-passionate, is that I am never bored. You are never bored. If you're here, you are thinking about embracing being multi-passionate, you're never bored ever. And I love that feeling. Okay, number 6 is probably my favorite. And that is really just that I get to inspire others, you guys. I've said this in another video, but I know that my path in life is to inspire others. I've known that for a long time. I just never really knew how, but I was just like, how am I supposed to do this? Because I never wanted to come off being preachy or bossy or annoying. I know I could probably be annoying sometimes, but I edit out a lot of the annoying stuff. I just always wanted to inspire. And sometimes I think people need to hear that, like, hey, you don't have to just do one thing. You can do kind of all of them or some of them. You don't have to pigeonhole yourself. Yes, your time is always going to be consumed, but you just have to figure out a way to kind of make it work for you. I think that's probably the hardest part of being multi-passionate. You have to just figure out how you're going to do everything without getting burnt out. I think it's very important that if you are a multi-passionate person, you feel like you're a Renaissance person, embrace all of the creativity that you can, and you also go on and inspire others, because people really do need to hear that you're multi-passionate. That's why you get bored easily. That's why you don't finish projects. That's why you just need a schedule and you need a routine that works for you. But that's my favorite part of being a multi-passionate, is that I get to talk to you guys, inspire you guys. I love it when you all comment on my videos, not even just the multi-passionate ones, but even my favorite one that you guys have been commenting on is definitely the reading vlog. And I didn't think that I would inspire so many people just by saying that, like, I'm rediscovering my love for reading. But a lot of people resonated with that. And I was like, oh my God, like, who knew there were so many people just like this? Because I was just like, God, I need to read. Let me sit down and read. I need to make another one of those videos. We need to body double soon, because that was great, and it was great to see the response to that. I did not expect that video to take off like that, but I'm so glad that it did, because that even gave me more ideas. I really hope that those who did comment on it are reading right now, or have even thought about reading. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. But that was the last. I wanted to come in here and actually talk face to camera. It's gonna be it for me today. It was nice doing this. I will be going back to the vlogs. There might be a vlog later this week, or I'll just wait for the normal upload. I have so much footage to go through, so I'm like, this is a lot. Oh, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.